Hello, everyone. Welcome to Wingcat Sports, and it's our college football post game for Michigan and Michigan State. We went all blue again for some reason. We're just straight up blue for Michigan, I guess. But Michigan ending up beating Minnesota 27-24. Very, very close game. It shouldn't have been that close. Orji, again, didn't really show himself as that promising of a quarterback. Only threw for 86 yards. He ran for another 155. But barely squeaked out a win on a controversial call at the end of the game.
That's their identity, according to, I don't know, some people said that's the Michigan identity now, passing for 50 to 100 yards and rushing for 400 every game. So I guess that's what they're going to do.
That's not really going to work against better teams, but...
Yeah, it isn't. But, you know, they're going to beat... They got lucky against Minnesota, I guess, and there's a controversial call on that onside kick. Should have probably not been called offside, but you know, like I said, I'm glad they did. It's going to be a rough year watching both these teams, although Michigan State's getting better. But Michigan is going to be tough to watch almost all year long.
Yeah,
I don't expect them to do much against any real competition. We'll see.
But Minnesota,
there isn't a lot of real competition though in the Big Ten. It doesn't look like so. They still may end up with 8 or 9 wins.
I mean, looking at total, right? Minnesota had 258 passing yards on you. They couldn't rush the ball. If they probably were able to rush the ball, they would have won. I know the controversial offsides call on the onside kick at the end of the game kind of made people a little bit upset who aren't Michigan fans, obviously, feeling that Michigan got bought out of another game.
Yeah.
Bad call.
Hey, good teams make their luck.
But, I mean, overall, Minnesota played a really good game. They pretty much outplayed you statistically, except for in the rushing game.
What's with those jerseys? I've seen
probably.
Why were they all in white? I'm not used to seeing that.
I'm
used to seeing them in their burgundy and yellow or whatever it is.
Well, they were a road, so they're probably wearing white because they're on the road. But, you know.
Hey,
but that's what kind of come down to is Minnesota pretty much outplayed you, which is something you don't want to hear. But I mean, you are struggling as you're going on throughout the year, and you still need to figure out what you're doing probably at quarterback. You know, Orji is playing better.
They're not going to figure that out this year. Everyone talks about Tuttle, but I'm not sure he'd be any better. So this is something you're going to have to start maybe work toward next year and find yourself a quarterback. It's just like I said, college has become very muddled with all these things going on, portals and NIL and everything else. Maybe that guy from UNLV will want to come to Michigan or something. Who knows?
Looking into Michigan State, though, Michigan State losing as we all thought they would, 38-7. But by watching that game, I feel Michigan State beat themselves more than Ohio State beat them with not getting the turnovers they needed, like dropping an interception in the end zone at the beginning of the game, multiple turnovers in key situations, not allowing them to get the points to stay in the game. And you were, for the most part, you were doing well up until basically the second half where you couldn't keep up with them.
Well, yeah, and we all knew they couldn't keep up with them, so you can't make the mistakes they made. And, you know, expect to, you know, be in the game. That said, they are in the right direction. If they clean that stuff up, you know, if they didn't if they could have cleaned up the turnovers and got that interception in the end zone, this would have been a closer game.
Probably. They probably would have got more points than 7 on the board.
Right. Or at least opportunity, and they would have had less. I don't think, like I said, anybody expected.
No one expected Michigan
State not to roll over them. And I thought that they looked better than I thought they would. So I think Michigan State is headed in the right direction. This Childs is going to grow, hopefully, into a legit college quarterback. He looks, young. He's only 19 or something. So, I mean, he's got so much growing to do. And I think he's going to be probably one of the better Michigan State quarterbacks that we've seen as time goes on.
Yeah, but Michigan State's defense obviously wasn't going to hold them. Ohio State had 483 yards total on Michigan State. Their offense, though, didn't do terrible. 246 yards. You just had the 3 turnovers, an interception, 2 fumbles. One of those fumbles probably could have been brought back because of a face mask call that wasn't called.
Right.
So, I mean, that again, key situations where you just end up messing up, which is a problem.
I mean, like I said, I'm hoping. I don't expect much this year. It's heading in the right direction. This is making me nauseous. What is this?
The camera's acting up.
Damn it!
Come on.
Focus in. That's
I guess we're not focusing. We're just gonna be blurry for the rest of the
blurry.
video.
So let's make it short. Because I can't watch this. I'd throw up if I was watching this. So we're talking about next week.
Yeah, we'll talk about next week.
Who are they playing next week?
Next week Michigan State is going into Oregon, so Oregon's a
slaughter, crushing
24-point underdogs going into Oregon. Probably will lose by that much. It is a nice late game for us here at home. A 9 p.m. game on Fox.
Ooh, we get to watch it actually. Then good. They're gonna get obliterated. So I am pretty sure of that.
We'll get more into their obliteration in an actual pregame video, but they're about to go 3-3 before they go face Iowa. Which again, it is what it is. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. Looking at Michigan's next game, they're going to play their first road game of the year against Washington.
Which might be a good thing. Get them away from the pressure, the fact that people have been basically, really on them about what this team looks like. Washington, but they're not that good though. They suck.
They're going on a 2-game road. They're going on the road 2 straight games, basically. You're going to go to Washington. Washington, surprisingly, is favorited by 3.
Well, like I said, it should be a good game, but I think they got a shot to beat Washington.
And then the more interesting thing that I feel is about to happen is after Washington, you're going to go to Illinois. Usually in the past, this is not a game.
This will be a game this year.
It will be a game, one, because Illinois was very close to being undefeated this year. They lost to Penn State 21-7 at Penn State.
This is your chance, Illini. Your chance to beat us. The chance to finally come out victorious against the Block M.
At the moment, Michigan is favored in that Illinois game. But, I mean, you're going on the road twice. One will be against likely a ranked opponent because Illinois is only playing Purdue this week.
Yes.
So they'll probably beat Purdue, who is sitting at a nice 1-3 record in the Big Ten. Before you have a to-be-determined time slot for this Illinois game. You might be playing prime time in Champaign.
That's good. I want to see the game. I probably work that weekend or something, but I don't know.
It could very well be because depending on how bad Illinois beats Purdue, they're probably going to be higher ranked. Right now, they're ranked 24.
But let's not get ahead of ourselves. What's Washington about? We're playing them next.
Washington's 3-2 right now with losses to both Rutgers and Washington State.
You suck, Washington.
But before you laugh about Rutgers, because we can continue to talk about college football teams, Rutgers is 4-0 right now.
Against who? Who they beat?
Washington, Virginia Tech, Akron, and Howard. Virginia Tech and Washington are bigger name schools, but
that's some decisive battles there.
I would say this week would be the week that you kind of see a little bit more out of them, whether or not they're a good team or not, because they're going to play a road game. They beat Virginia Tech on the road, but they're about to go to Nebraska. Well, so if they could beat Nebraska in Nebraska, start the season off 5-0, I don't think there's somebody who.
Well, every game is
going to write off.
I think most every game for Michigan is going to be a barn or close one. So,
well, they don't. Luckily, Michigan doesn't play the undefeated Rutgers team.
Good. I'm really worried about Rutgers. Yeah.
Rutgers doesn't really face anybody of importance. Unranked Wisconsin.
They play state?
They play state at the end of the year.
Ooh, yeah, good one.
So Michigan State might have to, slap them into relevancy
I
again.
hope so.
Beat them. Can't have them go undefeated.
No, that would be funny.
But Rutgers' remaining schedule, if you think that they have a chance to go undefeated, they play Nebraska, Wisconsin, UCLA. Their only ranked matchup, well, potentially ranked matchup of the year, is going to come against USC at USC. So, I mean,
USC might not be ranked by the time they play them.
Minnesota, Maryland, Illinois, and Michigan State to fill out their schedule. Realistically, if they're
Michigan ranked now?
10th.
What? No, they're not.
I think they're ranked. I think they're 10. Hold on.
They are not.
They're ranked 10.
They can't be ranked 10.
They're ranked 10.
No,
currently.
they can't be in the college playoff pool right now.
They're ranked 10th right now.
There's 12 teams that make the playoffs, right? So you're saying we're one of them?
Yeah, well, we were ranked 12th last week.
We don't. No.
We moved up with that great win.
Football must be just God vomit awful if we're numbered.
I should probably before we fill out today's video, we'll look at the AP top.
Michigan don't belong in the top 20. I don't care what anyone says. They are not a good football team.
So we'll look at our top 12 that would technically be in the playoffs right now. With Alabama's win over Georgia this week, they have become the new number 1 team. Texas dropping to 2. Ohio State staying at 3. Tennessee moving up to 4. Georgia is now ranked 5. Oregon is number 6. Penn State is 7. Miami being the first non-SEC or Big Ten school in the top 10, sitting at 8. Missouri at 9. Michigan at 10. USC at 11.
This is such an awful year for
college. And
football.
Ole Miss sitting at 12. Sitting out.
That's a garbage team.
Sitting out.
Notre Dame's in there?
Notre Dame is not.
They're 14.
But they're ranked 14.
Oh, so my God. Awful.
So same record as Ole Miss, and sitting out, we have LSU, Notre Dame, Clemson at a 3-1 record. An undefeated Iowa State at 16. BYU being 5-0 at 17. Utah 4-1 at 18. Oklahoma 4-1. Kansas State 4-1 at 20. Boise State sneaking in there as your first group of 5 team.
That has to be the worst top 20 I've ever seen in my life.
Boise State at 21.
That's just.
There
might be only 2 or 3 decent.
Louisville sitting at 22. Indiana, Illinois, and UNLV rounding out at 23, 24, 25. Indiana being undefeated as well this year in the Big Ten so far. So that's kind of interesting in itself too, with Indiana being undefeated. Do they have a chance to make some noise? Probably not. They'll probably get their butt kicked at some point this year. They do face Michigan at one point, but they're playing Northwestern this week, then Nebraska, Washington, Michigan State, Michigan, Ohio State, and Purdue. Could Indiana make it out of this year as a 10-win team?
I hope so. That'd be funny.
That'd be a very interesting thing to happen. But we're going to end the video here.
Oh, you're making me sick.
We're going to end it here. With all that being said, if you'd like to see, like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you think about the football games this week. Even the top 25 rankings and some surprise teams being undefeated. Where's Rutgers in the top 25 being undefeated? They deserve to be there. But with all that being said, if you'd like to see, like, comment, subscribe. And until next time, hope to see everybody soon.